The subject of legalism, that very term, is so embraced today. I've gone through quite a journey in research, trying to just assist those who will listen with what I have found. It's up to each individual, of course, to make their own decision and, again, do their own due diligence. But the key thing is to not just accept something as you may think it to be. It's to do the proper due diligence that can only bring about proper knowledge and accuracy. So when you look at legalism, what really is it? Well, legal is has a very basic meaning, which is to collect in its etymology. So it's collection agency. It's not really in the sense of what people would view as law, though at times we use the term legal mixed in with law. Law is what is laid down and established. Legal really is just a collective acceptance of man's man-made laws. We have just formulate them in a system that we do call law, but it should not be confused with the meaning of law. Law is what is laid down and established. It's immutable. It's unchangeable. That is what God places upon the creation. Unfortunately, legal can change at any given moment. And so when you look at what has happened, even to people who say they have a based belief in God and his son, Jesus Christ, most legal Christians are asleep. And because they embrace many terms that are pagan, such as church, they view basically their belief as a legal one, and therefore believe they must be part of the legal collective and exist within that legal collective, being a legal persona or legal person of that legal implied social contract of citizenship. And so, unfortunately, they've taken things in that are incorrect, and legal could only leave them in an opposition to free grace because they're opposite in meaning. Free grace is not the old dispensation. It is based on the new covenant, and therefore, having canceled out all legal indebtedness, there is no such thing as legal unless you act on it. So if you're acting on legal personhood, very similar to what this would look like, it's just like an individual basically blinded by acting in persona of the name on the birth certificate security that is issued for purposes of people acting in legal personhood. So therefore, if you're administrating and acting in that name, even though it's not yours, which would make it automatically the property of another, and therefore you're in someone else's sandbox, trying to bark and scream and complain, the situation will never work out for you because you have taken something that is of falsehood and tried to act on it with who you are in reality. And therefore, the benefit of anything to do with this security instrument is for the benefit of the state legal person, not for you. So, unfortunately, legalism embraces the old dispensation. It embraces basically an old covenant and without relief, and therefore comes with fees, fines, duties, debts, obligations, and everything else that comes with you being in somebody else's legal body corporate. And therefore, you're the old creature and not the new creature that was spoken of in Scripture. And so we really need to get our head around what are we actually doing in reality? Are we administrating and acting as that person on that security instrument? Can we really get away from that reality? Or are we just kind of just trying to rationalize that that couldn't be because someone's told me I have a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow and I can capture this security? Well, there is a big difference between the word take up and the word take over. And you may want to look that up in Black's Law 4. And we'll leave that with you for now. And thank you so much for listening in.